I'm thinking about the matchup now, and you guys are two. I mean, you're obviously well-rounded, but I would say you lean more towards striking, right? And Ian obviously loves to strike. So how are you kind of imagining the fight playing out a little bit? You guys gonna stand and bang, or obviously you got to be smart, right? So got to do what you got to do to win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an MMA fighter, and I've been showing this even more. Like my last fight, I think I showed a lot of development in my fight IQ, in using all of the skills I have. But obviously, striking not only is something I like, but is one of my strongest tools. I know how hard I can hit. I know that I got good timing, good, pop on my punches. So definitely, that's where the fight starts. So I see it being a striking battle, for a while, especially in the beginning. I want to go in there, feel what I can see. Maybe I see some openings I can explore, but at the same time, if I see openings to maybe wrestle, maybe try something like that, who knows? I know that I have the skill to do that. I know that I could put him in danger there as well. So I will definitely be looking for those opportunities. But when I see the fight and even watching a lot of tape on him and just seeing the way he fights, I do believe I can bring him trouble in the stand-up as well. So I think it's going to be an MMA fight. And more than anything, it's going to be a really exciting fight.
Right. And I mean, you fought a bigger guy in Jalin Turner in the past. So, do you draw confidence from that at all, or how are you viewing like fighting a taller fighter? Do you not mind that in a sense?
Yeah, like I said before, I've faced a lot of opponents in many different, let's say, physical abilities and different body builds. Like Jalin is one, Randy Brown is another guy that really tall, really good with his boxing. And, I it's all about studying, training, game planning, and being able to use the skills, because yeah, it is an advantage to be tall sometimes, but it could also be a disadvantage if your opponent knows how to work his own distance, know how to, kind of create the openings. And that's what I'm going to be looking, and the fact that I've done that against Jalin, against Randy in the past, it's kind of like, yeah, definitely kind of helps my confidence in this because I already had that experience. I already fought tall guys. That will definitely help me for this fight. And yeah, I've been studying and working a lot on that.
Gotcha. Just about the film real quick, and then I got two more for you. How much do you
Yep.
watch film? Do you like watch it every day? Do your coaches mainly watch it and tell you? How do you study your opponents usually?
Yeah, so I'll watch with my coaches and I'll watch a little bit on my own as well. And then we'll talk about it. So I'll talk to my different coaches in different moments, like maybe like with the striking guys, I'll go more towards the striking, what are the things that we can explore. Later I'll go to the wrestling coaches and grappling coaches, kind of see the openings he has shown or not, what I could explore as well. But yeah, I like to watch the tape. In the past, like in the beginning of my career, it wasn't something I did, but the longer, the more I started watching tape and the more comfortable I became with it. And it's really helpful, you really get to know your opponent before you face him. And that just gives you a different look, even like in the way you feel in the fight. You feel like you know that guy already. And in this case, I do know Ian, so it's going to be even more familiarity. And I think that, in my opinion, it helps me a lot. It just makes me more aware of who I'm facing and also perceiving if, let's say, I could see him get tired, I could see him feel a shot or something just by looking at his face. That's something I watch a lot on tape. I try to observe what kind of reads I can get of their expressions, body and face expressions.
Yeah. No, I mean, even Kobe Bryant, he said something where like Phil Jackson, I think, taught him how to study film. And Kobe originally would just like watch the game, right? But it got to a point where he was watching film for like 6 hours at a time, like a 2 hour game. It would take him like 6 hours to finish it. Cause in between he's looking at like, oh, there's a timeout. What's this guy doing? Facial expressions, like tendencies and all this stuff, So I hear what you're saying. And that's what like I think separates people too, is getting that familiarity. And then when you come in the octagon, it's not like a shock to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I think that there are so many variables. The more we can work, the more chances we're gonna get, to get in there, ready to get a win, you know. So that's what I try to do. Strength and conditioning, be prepared in all different martial arts, the mental, you know, having a strong mind, having a good diet so that the weight cut is not a big issue, having studied my opponent and being able not only to know technique wise what he's going to do, but also kind of get into his mind, you know, get into this reads, because in the fight is different. Like whatever you talk outside, that might matter. You know, some guys really get motivated by what they talk. But for me, what I see in there counts much more, because in there, that's when you're in a situation, when you get hit or when you're getting frustrated or tired, that's when I can really have reads of what the guy's thinking, how the guy's feeling. And depending on that, I can make my moves. So yeah, I think that the more tools I have to kind of work around the fight, the more ready I am to go pick up a win.
Right. Even like, just to add a little bit more, is like thinking like, oh, I saw him against this opponent. He was looking really confident. Now I'm standing across from him and he looks a little different. Like just knowing all that
Yeah.
helps you out.